So what are the essential tools that you need for building cabinets? Howdy, my name is Robert Dailey, owner of Dailey Woodworks, and I'm here today to show you kind of my essential cabinet building toolkit. Do you have to have these tools to build cabinets? No, you don't. Do these tools make it easy for especially beginners, DIYers, to build their own cabinets? Heck yeah. So we're going to dive into that today, and I'm going to kind of give you a rundown of what you need. Now, everything here is made by Craig. I'm not sponsored or affiliated with them. I don't think they know I exist. But, you know, these are tools that I've had pretty much since I've started woodworking now for like 8 years, and they're all holding up okay. I think there's better versions of most of this out there, but I don't think you're going to find a better bang for your buck version of these general tools out there. So let's dive in and we'll get started with the first Craig tool. Most of you are going to already own, but the Craig pocket hole jig. If you don't already own one, then buy one. Here's my advice for this though. I think this was called the K4. It's since been discontinued. They went to a K5 and now it's like the 720 Pro or something like that. It's about $150, and that's the most expensive piece of kit in this toolkit that I'm recommending to you. That being said, there are less expensive Craig jigs out there. This, for example, is about $20, and it's basically this little guy right here and your drill bit. This is a pain to use, however. So yes, you can get by with this. You can limp through projects with this guy only, but you're going to be miserable doing so. What this guy does is, essentially I needed a new bit, and I went to the box store, and the new bit was about $17, and the little guy with this was about $20. So I thought, hey, I can have this, get a new bit, and then this can live in my cabinet installation bag that I take on site. That way, if I need a random pocket screw location somewhere, I can put one in weird, awkward spots. But this guy is great. It's one of the first tools I bought when I started woodworking. Probably should be one of your first tools as well. Pocket holes are easy, simple to use, and they're plenty strong enough for 90% of the things you make. There's some pocket hole haters out there, but realistically, it's a great tool. Now, if you have the money and the space to buy the Craig Foreman, do it. It really is great. I spent a long time not buying this, and the time and money, the time it has saved me has more than paid for itself. I do this professionally, so my time is my most valuable commodity. So any tool I can use to save time is eventually going to pay for itself. This paid for itself pretty quickly. You don't have to have it. The other one I've used for years and it's been fine. This guy I've owned for about a year and a half now, and I have used the heck out of it and absolutely love it. So if you have the space in your shop and you're getting really into woodworking and you're trying to make the most of your time, this is a worthwhile investment to make. So link in description, this guy as well. Now, the next thing you're going to want in your cabinet building toolkit are your clamps. This is not an exhaustive list of clamps. I have another video over what I think are the essential clamps for woodworking. These are the ones that come in really handy when you're building cabinets. So the first one is, of course, your standard face frame clamp. I don't use this much because I use my work table and hold down clamps when I'm doing face frames. But if you don't have a table like this or the ability to clamp like that, this comes in handy. You basically hang it over your work and clamp it down. The next thing that I use probably more than anything else is this guy. This is a right angle clamp. This goes into your pocket hole. This pulls it together at a 90 degree, and then you can assemble your box. This one gets the most use out of any of the cabinet clamps I have. This guy I was a little ambivalent on at first. This is what they call, like, it's a little bit confusing how they name this. This is the right angle clamp. This is the 90 degree corner clamp. It's a weird naming thing, but that's how you can tell it apart. This one's really good for, like, I like it on drawer boxes. It's kind of smaller things and you kind of get it on there. I think it's a little bit finickier to set up. This is really kind of clamp and go, and then you can kind of whack it with a hammer to get it where you need it. But this is going to hold that joint really tight while you assemble it. And so when I first got it, I was a little, I'm not sure if this is a super useful clamp, but the longer I've owned it, the more I use it and the more I find uses for it. So I am glad, you know, to have this guy. And those are kind of the clamps that I use to build cabinets. This is your shelf pin jig. I've used this one, probably the only thing I've used more than this is actually drilling pocket holes. But I use this guy on almost every project. Getting shelf pins installed allows adjustable shelving options, and this thing is so ridiculously cheap. I don't even remember. I think I paid less than $20 for it. It's probably like $30 now. Who knows? But there will be links to everything in the description, and then I'm going to have a corresponding blog post as well covering all of this. I do put affiliate links in the description and in the blog post. You don't pay any extra if you use those links, but it does help out the channel, helps me make more content. So if you're willing to support me in that way, I sure appreciate it. I like this guy. There's several other jigs like this on the market, but I like the just pure simplicity of this one. You take off this thing, you can set it in a cabinet that's already built. It's not too big. I can fit this guy almost everywhere. It has, you know, a pin that you use to index it. It comes with a drill bit. I've replaced the drill bit 2 or 3 times over the life cycle of this tool. You can buy extra ones. You can get a 5mm or a 1/4. I like the 1/4 inch. And then you can just, it's just a jig, guys. It just works the way it works. And so this comes in really handy in lots of projects, either shop furniture, customer furniture. You know, they want the adjustable shelf inside the middle of there. They want adjustable bookshelves. This can do it. Holds plenty of weight if you do it right. Shelf pin jig just works. There's many out there. This one's pretty foolproof. It's very, very basic, but I like the flexibility, because some of the other jigs, if you forget to drill your shelf pins before you assemble your box, you're kind of out of luck. With this one, it doesn't matter. You can, as long as you can fit this guy in there, you can drill your shelf pins. And most of the time I wait till my box is assembled to do my shelf pins. Anyway, now this one I used to use a lot more than I use now. This is your drawer slide installation jig. It clamps on the front to support your drawer. It clamps on the inside of your box to support your drawer runners and your hardware. When I was mainly using side mount drawer slides, I used them a ton. When I went to under mount drawer slides, there was another jig I started using, and actually that is a jig that I completely forgot about until right now. That's worth buying, so let me go grab that one. This is the jig I used for under mount drawer slides. I saw this guy online for a long time. I thought it was gimmicky. I was like, why would I spend $30, almost maybe $40 on that? And then I saw one at Rockler. I went to a local Rockler, well, local as in 2 hours away from me. Rockler, you need to put one in my hometown. And they had it there, and you could actually try it out, see how it worked. And it was like light, heavens, angels, singing, an amazing tool. You basically stick your drawer slide on there, it holds on there with a magnet. This reference is on the front of your cabinet. Wow, an amazingly beautiful tool. So if you do undermount drawer slides, you can pretty much just forego these guys right here and go straight to this. This is truly awesome. But nowadays I do mostly wooden drawer slides and wooden drawer runners, and so I don't really use these much anymore. They're great. You can see they've been beat up. These things are, you know, 8-9 years old. I don't know. As long as I've been woodworking, I've had most of these tools here. I think the newest one I bought was this guy, and I think the thing on my purchase date was 2017, so it's 2022 now, so that was 5 years ago, and I'm still using this guy. I have bought new bits. So yeah, so these guys are useful. None of this stuff is expensive, and that's kind of the great thing with the Craig system is, yes, you can, like, this guy is about twice as much as this guy, but this guy's going to do everything you need it to do. This guy's just a little bit better. Okay, I'll make sure I link to this one too. But everything here isn't going to cost you a lot of money. So it's really easy to get started, and you can work up and down or to what you need. The most expensive investment, again, out of all of this is going to be your actual pocket hole jig, which I do recommend you go ahead and get the bigger, better version of. So that is our drawer installation guides, little brackets. They have cool little tabby guys right here. So they hook on and can index, and again, just a simple jig to go. And it's, everybody knocks plastic tools, but these guys can get thrown, dropped, whatever. They're good high quality plastic and they don't break. So yeah, it's a plastic tool, but that's kind of what you want in this situation. This is the European hinge mounting jig. This is the one that I'm least happy with. It works. It's accurate. You can do your hinges with it. So it works exactly as designed, and that's to Craig's credit. Everything they have made here works exactly as designed, as cheaply as possible. And that as cheaply as possible kind of shows up here. It's a little hard to get this guy lined up exactly right. You got to triple double check that nothing slipped or anything like that. The bit they include is not a really high quality bit, and I notice it gets dull really quick. I've had to replace this bit a few times. That the bits they include for, like, you know, the pocket hole jig and the shelf pin jig last a really good long time, but the included Forstner bit leaves a little bit to be desired. And it's kind of, you got to stick with the Craig one because of this sleeve it makes fits perfectly in there. There might be a different brand that fits this, but I haven't experimented with that. But you're kind of stuck with the Craig brand on that. So, you know, this guy works just fine. Most of the time I order my cabinet doors from a local cabinet door maker, and I just pay the tiny little bit extra for them to go ahead and bore for the really good European style hinges that I like to use. And that's the easiest way to do it for me. But on my current project that I'm working on, I went ahead and made the door because I only really needed one door for that project. And so I'm going to make it and bore it myself because it's one of those things that takes more time to call and order it from them than it will to just make it myself. And then our final jig that you want in your cabinet making toolkit is your drawer pull installation jig. And like everything here, can you get by without this jig? Absolutely. There are other ways to do this stuff. There are other jigs out there. The True Position jig is really good, but it's also like $200 versus, again, $20. Seems like Craig likes the $20 price range, and okay, that works. And again, many years old, still works just as good as the day I bought it. And again, it's horrible cheap plastic. No, it's good. It's plastic. It's not going to go anywhere. So this guy can be set for your different pull widths up to 5-inch spacing. So I do run into it, you know, especially now, those more kind of contemporary hinges. No, the more contemporary pulls and things that people are like using are like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 inches. So most of the time I'll mark those out with tape and just drill them myself. But you know, for your more standard sizes, this thing works great. I leave this set up for the size I use a lot. And one fair warning, no matter how well you think you have this thing dialed in, and no matter how well you have it set up, make sure to double check it every single time, because one drop, one bang, that can move just a little bit, and then before you know it, you have a crooked drawer pull that is really hard to fix. So that kind of wraps up this video. So I made this video for more of an entry-level look for guys. You're just now getting into woodworking, you're just now looking at making your own kitchen cabinets, and you're really wondering, okay, what tools do I really need before I dive into this project? Well, this is it, beyond, of course, the basics, like, you know, your table saw, your miter saw, nail guns, drills, you know, those kind of things you should already have. But tools specifically for cabinet making, this is going to get you there. And in the cabinet making course that I did, Let's see, I did that about a year ago now. These are the tools I used because I wanted to make it accessible to people, where you can get into these tools relatively inexpensively to make your own kitchen cabinets. That is available here or here. I'm not sure which side of the cards I'm going to put that on. You can watch all those videos, about 4 hours of instruction, for free on my website. And then I have a 50-page set of plans that you can purchase to get all the specs, dimensions, how-tos, everything you need to build your own kitchen cabinets. So that's there. Thanks for watching. If I've earned your like, give me a like. If I've earned your subscription, I'm honored to have it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.